Ang video na to ay handog ni cdkoffers.com. Marami kang mahahanap na iba't ibang uri ng software dito. May games, apps, activation codes for Windows 10. Check out our video on CDK offers in the video description. Mabilis, mura, and syempre legit dito. Madali lang mag-order, search for the software you need, add to cart, check out, daan ka sa payment options nila, wala pa isang minuto, finished. May legit working CD key ka na sa software na pinili mo. Gamitin ang aming promo code para makakuha pa ng extra 20% discount sa purchase mo. Kung naghahanap ka ng mura, legit, and original software, check out cdkoffers.com.
Alright, what's up internet? Thanks for joining me for another episode of In the Shop, and I think we finally gotten our shit together. If you've been following our latest streams from the shop last month and on the other streams, we've had a lot of technical problems. But now the stream looks good. We're green in OBS, and I believe you're seeing me in 920 by 1080, not the 280 by some postage stamp size thing that we were getting last stream. We're also both on Facebook and on YouTube now, unlike last month where I could only stream to YouTube for some reason. So a lot of technical problems, but I think we're over that hump, at least for this episode. So let's get right to it before... What's up, Francis Tizon? Thanks for joining us from YouTube. So let's get to the episode before something goes wrong. Whenever I stream, something always goes wrong. But yeah, like I don't even know where to start. Usually at this point, I'm flustered because Facebook isn't connecting, or the stream isn't connecting to Facebook, or the audio is not working because I forgot to turn on the mic and stuff like that. Pero ngayon, it's smooth sailing, so let's get started. Actually, not a lot of new stuff in the shop, like in terms of new products. I mean, most of the things we have in the shop right now you already know about. There isn't a new generation of graphics cards or CPUs, although the 5000 series of AMD is becoming more widely available. But I'll take you through first some of the new stuff we have in the shop. So we do have one of these guys, the TUF GT301, which is a Zaku 2 edition. We actually got a couple of the Gundam themed items or products from ASUS. This is one of them, the case. This is a red case, very very distinctive, very unique looking, and actually quite fetching, even if you're not a Gundam. You're not supposed to say Gundam, it's Gundam. Even if you're not a Gundam fan. Another one is this, the 850 watt ROG PSU. Actually, I really like this one. It's white naman with some Gundam trimmings, but what I really like about it is it has a magnetic patch that you can put anywhere on your case or on the PSU or even like on your fridge or something, and it's a really nice patch. If you guys remember when we previewed the items last February, the last video I ever posted about that was that small patch like thing. It's basically the head of a Gundam, and it's magnetic, so you can stick it anywhere. So that's nice. I was gonna show you the 3080 Gundam GPU, but in less than a week since we got it, it's sold out. We are a bit medyo may butas-butas na yung GPU collection natin. For example, we don't have a 3090, but we can get it if anybody out there is interested. We're out of stock of the 3070 because this is a TI, and the 3060 again because this is a TI. But we will be restocking within next week. So we're gonna get more 3060, 3070. It's been very difficult actually to get the 2000 series. Something where we would put here between the 1000 series and the 3000 series. We sold our last 2060 a couple of weeks ago, I think, and we haven't been able to get more. So I don't know if it's just a supply thing peculiar to the Philippines, to us, but let me adjust the camera a little bit. Okay, there we go. But it's been very difficult to get the 2000 series. I don't know, because NVIDIA is pushing people to either just choose, if you're sort of mid-range, you get one of the higher 1000 series, and then if you're going to go full gaming, you get the 3000 series. We do still have, and this is what we recommend for sort of budget to mid-range rigs. We start out with the 1650, and then onwards. We also have may butas dito. Wala kaming 1660 at the moment. We have Super and TI. What we've been seeing also, interestingly enough, is that a lot of the GPUs coming out are LHR version or low hash rate version. Those are the ones that miners can't use to mine. Although, caveat, I do understand there's news that they've been able to hack it to 70% efficiency already. So the LHR isn't so low hash anymore. Saying hi to Liam Magnayes up from YouTube and ITX Addict. Liam, no, just in time. We just started the stream like a couple of minutes ago. And ITX Addict, of course, another regular. And thank you to everyone for joining us. Malkovich, may stock ba Lian Li 011 White Mini? Yeah, here. Oh, here. Wait, I'll kick it for you. You can check it on the site, but I believe this is white and this is black. Again, one of my pet peeves with a lot of the cases is they don't say up front like if it's white or black. But yeah, we do have the Mini, 011 Mini, 011 Mini. I believe one is white and one is black. But again, best to check on our site for the most up-to-date stuff. Moniker, stop. Good to see you. Good to see you as well. Thanks for joining us on this relatively smooth stream so far. Again, if you're just tuning in, I was commenting at the start that I'm not used to having such a smooth stream because usually something always goes wrong even before I start streaming. Like there's no video, there's no audio, there's problem with the internet connection, it won't connect to YouTube or it won't connect to Facebook. But so far, it's been smooth sailing. Phyllis actually just got a very nice rig from us just yesterday. Looking forward to 2060 restock. Yes, we are trying very much to get a restock because for a lot of people that is still the sweet spot, the 2000 series. But again, I don't know what it is. If it's a purposely done by Nvidia na mahirap na makakuha ng 2060, if it will be available soon or if it's just our suppliers or I don't know if it's just us. I did want to show you guys after that. We're also running out of monitors a little bit. So we usually, if you've been to the shop, usually we have the monitors here at the bottom and over there. But now they're all cases and these are just the monitors we have. But this monitor actually, if this was custom ordered by a customer, they paid for it up front. But he asked us to check it before we gave it to him. And when we checked it, there was a really small, like 1 or 2 pixel stuck pixel or dead pixel here in the corner. So we told him about it, and then we're like, we'll send it back. And he's like, okay. So Gigabyte, in fairness, their warranty policy is 5 pixels. To be honest, I don't know. It's such a big screen. I really don't know if that was 5 or less. It seemed less, to be honest. But in fairness to Gigabyte, they replaced the monitor. So I've messaged this customer like, the replacement is here, the brand new replacement. Please come get it. But he hasn't messaged yet. I hope he's okay. If you're watching, your monitor, the M32Q, is here, available at the shop. Another thing that came back from RMA is another customer bought this guy from us a couple of months ago, the 1660 Super. One of his fans started, so it's a dual fan setup. One of the fans conked out. So he sent it back to us. It took a little time, but the supplier replaced it. And they replaced the entire, I don't want to say front panel, that's wrong, but they replaced the entire cooling part basically because, it's a GPU, the chips or the chipset is underneath the cooling, the upper part is the cooling part which comes off. So they replaced the entire cooling part and then they put new thermal paste, on the chips. So this guy is also ready to go. Fortunately, this customer has responded and he'll be getting this guy on tomorrow, Monday. Other stuff I wanted to show you. Yes, we have these guys in stock again. After a long wait, we custom ordered these guys from our supplier. It's the Core P3 Snow and the Core P3 Black. Custom order meaning like they weren't supposed to get any more, but we paid for like 50% back in April and they only arrived August. So April is like the 4th month and August is now. Actually, August is about to end. So it took almost 5 months to get these guys. our supplier wasn't going to get any more. That's why I call it a custom order. But these are not reserved, so these are available in the shop, available on the site. We have carried these guys for a long time, and I like them because they're so distinctive. And I mentioned before that if I were to build a new PC, which I need to do soon because my PC is old as heck, if I were to build, or when I build a new one, the Core P3 is one of my go-to, like one of the cases that I would seriously consider using for my own. It's so distinctive. Or nowadays you've seen a lot of these open type case setups, and a lot of people are like, "Oh, that's gonna get dust and everything." But I just really like the look, and it's practical for me. Like if I get something like this, because occasionally, I need to try out a new graphics card, or try out a new AIO. At least with this open air thing, it's a lot easier to swap out parts and things like that. Um, yeah, so I might steal one of these guys from the shop when I'm ready to buy or ready to build a new computer for myself. Sige, before I get to the chat, this guy actually is a brand new PC which we sent to the customer like maybe 2 weeks or 3 weeks ago, and it came back to us yesterday because the customer. This is actually a non-art. This is purely a performance build. This is a 5950X AMD CPU, so that's the highest you can get before Threadripper. Cooled by a Dark Rock Pro 4, a big boy cooler. I think the card is a 3070, I believe. And then we chose a Meshify 2 case for the airflow. You can see, even on the camera, you can see like how perforated the front is, so that air can really smash through the front and make its way through the back and out. So this was a performance build for primarily video editing. So it was like 2 weeks old or something, but it came back yesterday because the user was encoding or rendering something, and then it just crashed. And then it wouldn't turn on again. Like, he tried to restart, shut it down and things like that. But the PC would not, Windows wouldn't boot. Or at first we thought it wasn't posting, but when we got it into the shop yesterday, we let it run for a little bit, and we realized that it was posting, but it was taking so long. It's like Windows is chewing on something before it finally decides to start up. And then it would only start up in safe mode. So initially, again, we're still troubleshooting this, but initially it doesn't sound like a hardware problem. Usually when Windows does start up, the PC does post. There's nothing wrong with the hardware. But now, after the stream, I'm gonna play around with it to get it into safe mode, and then maybe get it into recovery mode. Let's try to get Windows to boot properly first, and then we can see from there. But yeah, as ITX Addict mentioned, this is a monster. I mean, the case is huge, relatively, and it has such great airflow. Although Fractal Design is making waves right now. I'm sure if you've been following the tech guys on YouTube, the Fractal Design just came out with a case called the Torrent, which is like one of the best airflow cases. Like, a lot of people are like, "Oh my god, the airflow on the Torrent." Not available yet here in the Philippines. It just came out abroad. But even this Meshify 2, Fractal Design is well known for its good airflow, and the Meshify 2 doesn't disappoint. We chose it specifically for that airflow. Again, it wasn't the RGB or anything like that wasn't a consideration. I mean, it does look pretty, but we chose it more because of the good airflow, because you gotta keep the monster cool when it's doing its thing. Weird lang though na nag-crash. This is a metal mesh cup. Weird lang though na nag-crash during editing. So yeah, we're still trying to figure out exactly. Once we get into safe mode, once we get Windows set up okay, able to get some more. Kaiser, Windows being Windows. I know, right? And for us, for tech guys, it's kind of like, ganun talaga. I mean, yeah, Windows being Windows. But if the customer is non-techie, it's very easy to blame the hardware. Kasi wala ka naman habol sa Microsoft, diba? It's not like you're gonna call up Microsoft and say, "Oh, why, ba't nag-crash computer ko?" It's much easier to blame the shop. But to be fair, the customer is not blaming us. I'm just speaking in general. Sometimes we get customers who bring back stuff and they're insisting something is wrong with the hardware, but it's really a software issue. And we can't do anything about that. But it's much easier to blame the shop where you got it, kasi yun nga, hindi mo mahabol si Microsoft or hindi mo mahabol si NZXT kasi ang bulok nung or ang buggy nung cam software nila. So, uh, not this particular customer, but sometimes we do have to sort of explain a little bit na, yeah, this is a Windows problem or some other software isn't playing nice with some other piece of software, and there's nothing inherently wrong with the hardware, because sometimes hardware can go wrong in just one setup. Like a GPU that's fine in a completely different build, if you stick it in another completely different build, God knows for what reason, refuses to work or crashes or things like that, because sometimes the drivers just don't play well with some of the other things. So ITX Addict, Microsoft priming customers for Win 11. I know, but I will not be one of those guys. I want to stick with 10 as long as I can. I just don't like. I'm kind of old, so to be honest, 10, 11, even a jump from 7 to 10, I was like, oh my god, it's Windows, but they change things around a little bit, so it takes me a little time to warm up and get my bearings, where everything is. Jay's Beers, got any 1660 Ti? Yes, we do. It's Gigabyte. I showed it a while ago. It's on the shelf, but it's also on the site. The Borbs asked what headset. I think Rafael replied, this is actually his headset. I always steal it for when I need to walk around for in the shop. Stop, Andres. As everybody from all the comments are from YouTube, but Facebook naman is. Yeah, okay. So we're still live on Facebook. What's up, internet? What's up, net? Marvin Del Mundo. 00 PC parts are actually going down a little bit, especially GPUs. CPUs, we've been seeing a gradual decline in the prices, but I do need to put a big but, because and Rafael was the one who told me about this. Apparently, there's been another outbreak in China, so that has delayed their production and delayed their shipping. And so just when everybody thought was like, oh, the recovery's back, starting to pick up pace and picking up steam, now, because of the latest outbreak in China and they're really clamping down, production has slowed down again, shipping has slowed down again. So I don't know if that will have a ripple effect. Again, it takes time for us to feel the effects in prices. So better supply, better shipping, that happened months ago. We're only starting to feel the effects now. If the latest lockdown in China has caused the opposite of that, slow down in shipping, slow down in production, we're only going to see it maybe 2 months from now or something, unless the suppliers get really paranoid and start putting up prices again. So this is my roundabout way of saying is that they've been slowly going down, but this might be the best we'll see them for this year, based on our own Philippine situation. COVID Delta still kicking our ass. It's shown up again in China, so you might want to buy now. Is what I'm saying. This might be the best that we get for this year. Liam Magnaya, someone start a GoFundMe for Anton's PC so you can get 4 3090s. I'll be happy with one 3090, to be honest. I'd be kind of embarrassed though to have a GoFundMe. There are a lot of better, like other people need the GoFundMe much more than me. I'm still happy pa naman with my i5 4690K, which is 4 or 5 years old. Hang on, guys, I'm just gonna get some water because the problem with this. I like doing pwede magtanong and stuff because it's not a monologue. But when I do live from the shop, I'm usually by myself, so it's always a monologue. So I'm just gonna drink some water. The nice thing about this particular headset, not all, usually the premium ones have them, but not the sort of budget or mid-range. You can just flip it up and it mutes by itself, and it sounds like, well, yeah, do I really need that? I can just kind of like hold the mic so that people can't hear me. But yeah, it's actually very useful, especially for long periods. Like it's wireless, you want to walk around, so you might want to drink while you're doing your work from home meeting or things like that. You don't need to talk, so you can just pop this headset up, sorry, the boom mic up, and it's automatically muted. You can still hear the audio, and you can drink. You have access to your mouth if you want to eat and things like that. Phyllis, I've seen reviews on YT. Yes, I think she's talking about the torrent. Were you the one who sent me the link? Actually, somebody sent me the link. Or mentioned it. No, sorry, no. Another customer and I were talking about Hardware Canucks, and I was like, yeah, I like watching Hardware Canucks and Paul's Hardware because they're just super chill. And I believe Hardware Canucks has a review of the torrent out, the Fractal Design torrent, but I haven't watched it yet. Actually, it's been quite busy the last 4 days. Just different shop stuff, and we have a new video on YouTube now. The members can see it, but it will go live to the general public on Tuesday. It's how to buy a budget build, so like 10K office build, 15K faster office build, and then light gaming rig starting at like 25K. So I've been doing the edits of that for most of the week and other things. So it's been quite busy, but so I haven't been able to catch up on my on my YouTube watching yet. Oh, and last weekend, to be fair, I was just kind of goofing off because it was the free beta of Back for Blood. So my friends and I were playing, taking advantage that it was free. So we were playing it. Although to be fair to me, like I still consider it as work because I was able to get good B-roll of the ROG XG34RC, or the curved monitor, which is also a monster, which ROG was kind enough to lend to me over the past 2 weeks. So I got good B-roll of that. So I was still working when I was goofing off with Back for Blood. Happy Sunday, Luigi Wilwaiko. Sorry, Wilwaiko. Another regular. Thanks for joining in. All right. All right, I'll get to the chat in a little bit, guys, but I just want to show you some of the other stuff we have. We do still actually, I mentioned earlier in the stream that the 5000 series is becoming easier to source, although these guys, like we're down to one 5600X, two 5800X. We do have a bunch of 3200Gs available. Again, we're a small shop and we do run out of stuff generally quickly. That's how we like it kasi we don't have a lot of budget to splurge on a lot of things. So whatever we buy needs to be sold kaagad para we can turn it around and buy new things, buy more things. So we do like it like that. But we're always precariously low on a lot of things. We have some motherboards over here. But those are not fun. So we'll talk about these things which are fun. I agree with Phyllis. I really love these Core P3s. This is a new build, also going to be picked up on Monday, tomorrow. It's an Inwin A1 Plus in pink. So it's an ITX build. Shout out to ITX Addict. It does come with RGB. Also shout out to ITX Addict. It actually, this is what I like about the A1 Plus is aesthetically it does look quite nice for any size case. I think it's a nice, good looking cross between, it's interesting looking but not too far out, and it has a lot of included stuff. Like this is a key wireless charging pad, key. I don't know. My phone is also old, so and secondhand, so it doesn't charge wirelessly. But if you have devices like that, you just plop it on here. It does come with RGB, and it does come with a 650 watt gold PSU already. One of the harder things about ITX cases is that you need to get a SFF, or small form factor PSU, or SFX. Those are all the same thing. SFF, SFX, they just mean like super small PSUs like this one, the SF600 from Corsair, which are meant to fit in ITX cases. For some reason, so there's SFF, SFX, and T-Sonic just wants to be different, and they call their version the SGX. But those are all very small PSUs, and they were really hard to come by last year. Like last year, man, grabe. Sobrang hirap makahanap nung ITX PSU. Supplies have gotten a bit better this year, but we do try to stock them as much as possible because, again, we try to have these kind of interesting things like, oh, you want to do an ITX build? Sure, we got your back. We have the parts for that. That's what I like about the A1 Plus. The looks are good, and it comes with a lot of stuff. It gives value to the customer. It gives you a lot of stuff. It already comes with a lot of stuff. To be honest, I forgot the specs, but I think I have them. Okay, I have the receipt here, so I'm just gonna cheat. This is an R5 3600 with a 1660 Super GPU, A520i AC, which is one of the cheapest ITX boards. I mean, I don't mean cheap like in a bad way. I'm saying that There is the general notion that ITX builds are more expensive, and that's true. But there are, if you shop around long enough, you can either find a case like the Inwin A1 Plus or the CM NR200P. I want to say P. I think it's NR200P that can fit some standard size stuff, and then you can get like a MOBO like the A520i from Gigabyte, which is quite affordable relative to other ITX MOBOs. It also has a 256 gigabyte M.2 NVMe and a 480 gigabyte SATA SSD. So not bad. Very, very usable for the office, for editing, even for gaming. I mean, a 1660 is nothing to sneeze at. So this girl, I do tend to personify the computer or apply personification to the computers in the shop. So I guess you'll be a girl. This girl is going out tomorrow, and yeah, I really like the A plus. We've been carrying it for a long time. We still have this in black, but we're sold out of white and pink. This is the last pink. This is actually glass on top, so very, very nice. Tinted side panel as well to better have the RGB pop. This is not for sale. This is one of our test benches. Be Quiet sent us the Pure Base 500 for review. I reviewed it. I actually really liked it. I was surprised by how much I liked it. Even the angular front panel, very nice with the mesh side fins for air intake. We have the AS 500 Plus in white, courtesy of Deepcool, which they were also kind enough to send to us. The 2080 Super, which a customer was kind enough to give to us when he upgraded. And then the Deepcool, I think this is the SGX 500 or something. It's their GPU support. So the problem with a lot of the longer and thicker cards. So this is a 2080 Super, but it's tri-fan. It's about the same length as the 3070s now, or the larger cards are so long that they don't have enough support. So their support comes from the back here where you screw it in, and just from the hanging out in the PCIe slot. So over time, the back can bend, or it can even break off completely in some very extreme cases. Break off the PCIe slot. So these kind of holders or GPU support brackets have been getting more and more popular. And this Deepcool one has ARGB, and we will be posting a short review. And when I mean short, it's going to be less than a minute, like it's a shorts review. But I like it. It's very adaptable. If you notice the screw holding up the screw holding the bottom of the GPU there on top, you can swing that left and right to determine like where exactly you want it. And as well as the base here, you can adjust the height and as well as the X position. You can adjust both the X and Y axes of the two main support screws. It does have ARGB, and it does screw in. So this is the GPU support by Deepcool. It just screws into the PCIe slots. It does take up 2 PCIe slots. Just like this is the card actually. This is a 2080 Super. It is taking up 2 slots, and then the support will take up 2 more. Yeah, so I just wanted to. Most of these guys we've reviewed already, like the case we reviewed, the RAM we've reviewed, the SSD we've reviewed, the cooler we've reviewed, and we're gonna review the GPU support soon. But overall, I really actually like this test. I like how this test bench has evolved. And it's nice looking. It has decent hardware. That's an Asus TUF B550. Not B550. What's the equivalent on the Intel side? B560. Tama ba? I think yeah, it's the B560. Anyway, we also have a video on that and the i5-10400, which Asus was kind enough to send over, along with the B560. I think it's a B560. Spoiler alert! Actually, when we do the review of the white one, which is coming out next week as well. Like, I'm just gonna say it, man. The stock cooler hit 100 degrees when we ran it at 100% load. But with the AS500 Plus white, it only hit 58 degrees. So that's a 42 degree difference. From the stock cooler to using the AS500 Plus. And 100 degrees on 100% load from an i5-10400 seems a little extreme. So we reran the test. It didn't hit 100, but it was still quite high. And then the AS500 Plus also outperformed the stock cooler, even in the second test that we did. But full details of that in the video next week, coming out next week. And finally, we come to this guy, CoolerMaster H500 ARGB. Quite a popular case actually, because you have the all front the all front glass panel, which is similar to the H510 Elite. Popular because you can see these massive RGB fans. And then, you have the side panel. Although I think you can swap this front panel out. I believe you can put a mesh here actually to get even better airflow. Although you do get airflow already here from the sides and things like this. So actually quite a popular case, like maybe last year. Super hard to get. And then we have an AIO, the Core Liquid 240R. And then this is a 2000 series GPU. And it's in the shop now because basically, this belonged to a customer, but he had some issues with it. And, I'm trying to phrase this in a nice way. We gave it to the full extent of the warranty. But long story short, we're actually going to sell this one as a second-hand unit. So it will come with a 1-year warranty, our usual no BS 1-year warranty. And these are really premium parts actually. It's the 2060, the Core Liquid 240R, the H500 ARGB. Very definitely like mid-range to high-end rig, even in this was done last year, so it's less than a year old, but even in 2021 this is still a very good rig. So we'll be selling this is the first rig actually that we'll be selling second hand. The CPU, we're still trying to figure out like if we're gonna sell it, like we're just gonna pop in a 3600, an R5 3600, or we're gonna let the customer decide like what CPU they want to have in here. But so the CPU will be brand new, everything else will be second hand. And if you have been watching our shop or you notice like some of the remarks I say, I always like when I can I buy second hand. That's just my phone. My GPU for a long time. Actually, my current GPU is second hand as well. So we really think there's value in using or getting second hand stuff. I use them all the time personally for myself. And so I'm kind of excited actually. We're gonna make lemons out of lemonade. Sorry, baliktad. We're gonna make lemonades out of lemon. So out of lemons. So I'm curious, like if we will put it at, of course, at second-hand prices. But I'm quite confident that they can find a good home with someone else. It's still a pretty good case. Sorry guys, I'm just gonna jump to the front of the chat. Go well-versed din ba yung shop nyo mag-build around ITX cases? Yes. If you check out our YouTube and you can see some of the builds we've done. Actually, our latest build video was in a Lian Li 011D Mini, which is an interesting case actually because it can fit up to ATX sized motherboards, but you need an SFF PSU. We also have other ITX builds and actually available also to members but not yet to the public. We have an NR200p build video already on the channel, which will probably release tomorrow. We're just waiting for the thumbnail. So, so we do have a lot of experience with ITX, and which is why we also try to carry ITX components. So like GPUs, sometimes they produce these very short GPUs. Most importantly, power supplies and cases. So we have the NR200p. We have the Evolve Shift 2, which ITX Addict in the chat knows that I have been dying to actually build in for a long time, but nobody has pulled the trigger on that yet. But I think that's a beautiful case. The Evolve Shift Air 2. Evolve Shift 2 Air or something or other. So yes, we do. Long story short, yes, we do have experience with ITX builds. Why not take it home personally? Because it belongs to the shop, and I try not to, the proceeds of the sale should go to the shop, and I try not to steal stuff from the shop as much as possible. Like in my current rig, well, the GPU I'm using now is technically the shop's also, but that's I try to draw the line somewhere and actually pay for the hardware that I'm using. Merkeebs, I need help finding a Meshify 2 compact. A lot of people have been asking about the compact, to be honest. I tried asking our supplier, but they have no idea when they're getting it. So when they do get it, we will carry it. But we can't accept custom orders right now because yun nga, I don't know. Even the supplier, even our Fractal Design supplier doesn't know when they're gonna get it in stock. Mm-hmm. Phyllis paid the shop. Yeah, but then I don't want to pay the shop. It's like, man. Although, to be honest, the build, like when I build my own PC, like my new PC, a lot of the shop, a lot of the stuff will be from the shop. Yung mga di na namin mabenta. Like we have I might as well show you guys. Okay, I'll bring you guys to the rear. So we have, thankfully, we have a lot of, when somebody has a problem, we have a lot of extra items to say, oh, my AIO broke down. Because, brands have been kind enough to send us stuff for review and we get to keep some of the products, or you just can't RMA it. Like this guy, the Kraken X53. The problem with this one is the RGB, the white RGB, just blanks out randomly. So we've tried it, it worked, we sent it back to the customer, it didn't work with him, he sent it back to us, it didn't work with us. When we sent it back to the supplier, it worked with him. So it's one of those super variable problems na nakakainis pa minsan. Actually, I can't blame the supplier also kasi when they test it, parang gumagana naman. But, on our end, we refunded the customer 100%. Kumbaga, it's always hardware sugar na huling taya, that we're the ones left holding the bag. So I can't sell this in good conscience as a second-hand item because I do know that the RGB just craps out. But to go back to like the suggestion of Phyllis that I should just get the case, or that second-hand rig. Actually, when I do build my new rig later on, I will probably incorporate a lot of the stock, a lot of the extra items that we have here. Like I'm already thinking of getting this na lang kasi hindi na rin mabenta. Kawawa naman yung yung customer who gets it. The RGB is kind of wonky. So I'll get this na lang, the X53. Kawawa naman ako na second hand and not really working, but ang hirap talaga ng buhay. I'll just have to live with that. So I am actually thinking of stealing extended loan items from the shop. Like this one is like super annoying. The one, like we got a Dark Rock Pro 4 and was missing some fan clips, and we tried to send it back to the supplier, but some reason or another we couldn't, and for whatever. So we got stuck with that. The RP4, now it's working, everything's working, the fans are fine. It's just that we can't clip them to the CPU, to the actual cooler, to the radiator, the tower rather, the CPU tower cooler. But we are fortunate to be in that position where the brand send us stuff and we get to keep them, because then we can translate that to better customer experience when they come in. We might need to replace a part and send it back to the supplier, but we try as much as possible to give them a temporary fix, like, oh, you need a cooler, if you need like RAM or a PSU or things like that. Sometimes we have extra units in the shop that we can use, or even case. We've lent out cases before to customers, like they need to send the case back kasi sira yung RGB or something. Like we've lent out this guy, the Fractal Design R6 before. The RAM here is also from a brand, so you can also lend that out. And here is the completely passive cooler from Noctua, the NH-P1. I think P1 ata yung designation niya. The review of which is on our channel. And it's not even hot. Of course, I mean, we're not doing anything. Like, we're not overclocking the R33-100, which is the CPU at this point. But very interesting design, very Noctua quality, even though, it can... If you check out the review video, it has great great thermals for passive cooling. Right. Will the price of R5-3400G go down soon? I do not know. As I mentioned, prices have been going down gradually, especially with GPUs, with some CPUs, but the APUs are quite popular, 3200G, 3400G. So I can't say like difficult, but they sell out quite fast with the suppliers. We've been fortunate that our suppliers like us enough to tell us in advance na or give us first crack na parang sir, may available na, kuha na kayo kung gusto mo. So that's why sometimes we get 00 Ace 00. We do ship to Cebu City. We ship nationwide via Ninja Van. We've shipped as far as Zamboanga, so to Mindanao. We've shipped and all the way up north. So we ship nationwide. Yeah, and like 99% of the time, everything goes fine. We've had maybe 2 bad experiences. Shipping to Davao, like a case got lost, but we put insurance on all of the shipments, so the customer's assured, like something goes wrong, at least if ever we'll send a replacement, which we did for the Davao case, or they'll get their money back in full. Fritz Villahermosa, sup? No problem. Thanks for joining us. Do we have a shop on Shopee? We did. We do present tense, but it's closed at the moment because I find Lazada and Shopee really high stress channels. I shut them down for ECQ. We're no longer technically under ECQ. We're in MECQ, pero I've decided to keep them shut down for the moment just to see if we can still function as a shop without Lazada and Shopee, because to be honest, they're really a big headache. The customers also on Lazada and Shopee are also quite a big headache. Vigilante, or the Vigilante, reliable gaming mouse. Well, we have reviewed this one before, the M3 from Asus. I think it's around 1,000. We do have them in stock. We've also reviewed the Iron Claw. Rafael has reviewed the Iron Claw. Not bad also. Personally for me, and this is like I'm not even gonna make any money out of this because we don't carry it. But my mouse is usually Logitech. Kind of old-fashioned that way. But SteelSeries is also supposed to be good. I would like yung pet peeve ko lang, ayoko talaga ng Razer kasi I keep buying Razer and they just keep failing on me. So never again Razer. Ganda kasi ng marketing ng Razer. Palagi ako naaaliw sa, they always look so good, parang angas mo. But the products always fail on me. So I would not recommend Razer, but yeah, I mean this M3 mouse that you can see here is pretty good. The review is also on our channel. The Iron Claw we have. Maybe Logitech is like, it's what I'm personally using at the moment. I'm not using the Hero. I'm using the wireless. I forget which model. It's also super old. Jet, thank you for being responsive. I mean, di ko naman i-ano yung sarili kong bangko, pero I do spend a lot of the time in the Facebook chats. There's either me or one of our tech staff, Jay. Our forum site, pwede magtanong, or pm.hwsugar.ph, like if you have tech questions. Rocky the Programmer is also very active there. So we really try as much as possible to answer everybody very quickly. Gaming night, no, my mouse is Logitech, but my keyboard is Das keyboard. It's the Delta Alpha Sierra Das. It's a German brand. Also super old. And I have, if you watched Pwede Magtanong last Friday, you know that like a lot of people have been saying that I should try out these custom keyboards because it just really exploded in popularity. But I don't want to go down that rabbit hole because it sounds super expensive. But when you hear the keyboard enthusiasts, they're like, yeah, you won't go back to blue keys because it's really, you can set just how much pressure you want before each keystroke is registered, and the sound, and doing it yourself, and lubing and things like that. So it does sound very enticing, but I'm trying very hard not to fall down that rabbit hole. But so I'm not using a Logitech setup. Dogi G304 for Phyllis. I'm not quite familiar with the G304, but usually Logitech is very good quality. Luigi MKB kits. They were talking about GMMK. I hope I got that right. GMMK, which is different from GMMK, which is different from GMK, the single M. Um, yeah, but that's a deadly rabbit hole. So I'm resisting. I'm resisting trying out that custom stuff because I do need like a more like yung when I get a new PC, at least yun kasi medyo nagka-crash na yung luma kong PC, especially now that I'm trying to put a lot more B-roll in the videos that I personally edit. There's more text, there's more B-rolls, there's more transitions. So my 12 gigabyte DDR3 i5-4690K is kind of creaking. It's like that meme. It's like the guy from Green Mile, and it's like, I'm so tired, boss. Medyo ganun na yung system ko. So I do need to put some of my money to that first, where there's a more clear there's a more return on investment compared to like custom keyboards. But I am thinking of I'm very very tempted, but I'm resisting. Let me just let me go through some of the chat, like from previously when I was running around. Bentley from YouTube. In my personal opinion, when do you think the silicon shortage will end? Personally, like I'd give it maybe 2 years because it's not just PCs. Like you think chip, you think GPU, you think CPU, but a wide range of industries now, such as automobiles, appliances, everything now has chips inside, and everything, cell phones, and everything is affected as well. So it's not just a question of like, Nvidia, but OLEDs yung production mo. Why can't you get your stuff together? AMD, why can't I get your new CPU? Intel, never mind. Joke lang. Sorry, Intel fanboys. But it's not just PC related. Chips are in everything right now, and all chips right now are in short supply. So I'm giving it maybe 2 years before things kind of settle down a little bit. Maybe, and I think that's true for society in general. Like, when can we go out without masks again? Right now, we're still on ECQ schedule, as I posted on Facebook, even though the official category is MECQ. We're still not allowing customers in the shop until end of August, but staff will be here every day. So the store will be manned, the orders will get sent out. You can buy from the shop even, just from the front door. But we're still treating it as an ECQ situation because most of us in the shop, including myself, have only had one shot so far. We're still waiting for our second dose. And the numbers, like 17,000 cases, Delta is very prevalent. So just there's a lot of stuff going on. I don't know. So chips, maybe 2 years from now, and even society at large 2 years from now, is before everything goes back to normal. And it's been 2 years already, right? I mean, it started last year, continued up to this year. I feel bad for like college students and high school students because a lot of the fun of school is, hanging out with your friends, getting into trouble, cutting class occasionally, which I did once in a while in college, and then one very memorable time in high school, like maybe 60% of my entire class decided to cut one day, so we were all just playing CS. So good times, right? I mean, yun nga, parang I feel bad for the students now that, because they're stuck at home, they're not even allowed to go out, they can't hang out. It's very different, you don't have your prom and things like that. Very different experience. And maybe a less rich experience for a lot of people. I mean, not just students. Like, I haven't seen my friends in years, literally, plural, because this is the second year that we haven't been able to see each other like face to face. I haven't gone out even when it was back to GCQ and things like that. Like I don't eat in the restaurants and things like that. But sorry, long story is like 2 years, maybe for chips, and 2 years also even for like society just getting back to some kind of normality. Edmond, sorry, you asked this question a bit back. I'm just getting to it now. You have an R5 3600 with an RTX 3070. Would you recommend either a 5600X or a 5800X? Actually, I would recommend the 5600X, which is our go-to for gaming now. That would complement your 3070 well. Because for gaming, you don't really need a lot of cores. The 5800X, yes, has a lot of cores. But for gaming, a lot of the games don't take advantage of a lot of cores. So 5600X, there's a substantial performance increase from the 3000 series to the 5000 series. You don't need to overspend by getting the 5800X if your main goal is gaming. Personally, for myself, like yun nga, I'm trying to be more hands-on with some of the edits. I am personally considering a 5800X, but only because the my PC sadly will be editing more than it will be gaming. So it makes sense for me to get a 5800X. But if gaming is your main objective, I really think a 5600X hits that sweet spot. Yeah, of course you get better performance with a 5800X, but price to performance for gaming, 5600X is really a good performance point, or performance peg. Recommendation for gaming headsets that are budget friendly. Christy from Facebook. Our staff actually really likes the MH630. Oh, here, I'll show you. We still have like one left. Our staff really likes the CoolerMaster MH630. We have the wireless one, so that's the MH670, but the 630 is quite affordable. It's also available on the site. I forget how much it is, maybe like 3,000, I think. But it's very good quality, and yun, I can attest because because I think two of our staff have bought from us. The staff get discount. They get it wala nang patong when they buy from us. They get it at the supplier price. Let's say we get the mouse at 1,000. If they get it from us, they also get it at 1,000. So I know from personal experience. Sorry, that's wrong. If you're a lawyer, that's hearsay. Not from personal experience, but the staff who game regularly and who I'm in constant communication with, two of them have been using the MH630. They're very happy with it. For my personal experience, but if they're not too budget, I really like the ROG Strix Go 2.4, which ROG was kind enough to lend to me last year. Although I think that is a bit pricey, but very nice. Very also good for mobile. Like it's very easy to bring it around. But again, why would you need to now where everybody's stuck at home? But it is the sound quality is very good. And actually, I like wireless because you can be playing a YouTube video, but you're doing other things like you're in the kitchen, cooking or whatever. So wireless, even if I don't go out of the house, wireless is medyo I need that. I need that in my life. My mouse is always wireless because I hate. I mean, the M3 is a very good mouse, but in general, wired mice, I don't like yung parang feeling ko palaging hinihila ng cord. So like, sometimes I'm moving it around and suddenly, parang hinihila ko pabalik na. But parang ang bigat nung cord. So I always get a wireless mouse for myself and also a wireless headset. The one I'm using now, again, is super old. It's a that brand that everybody really likes, but that they sold it. Man, it's a my wireless headset is guys, like I'm getting old. My it's my wireless headset is that brand which they sold like a month ago, but it's super quality. I can see the logo. Oh my goodness. No, 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 Rocky the Programmer, not this headset. Like the personal one I use at home is it's not JBL. It's not it's God. I'm gonna look it up when I get home. I'm gonna look at it. But shoot. Sennheiser, yes, thank you. Thanks, guys. Moniker and Kaiser, ITX Addict, yes. Sorry, ITX Addict and Kaiser, yes, Sennheiser, yes, that's the one. Man, I was like, you could really see the loading wheel on top of my head. I'm like, what is it? Actually, because I moved back in to my parents' house during ECQ, so I have not been using the Sennheiser. I've been using desktop speakers, but that's really no excuse. I just like some days talaga, parang you're like, wow, you're like you swapped out your R5 3600 for a i5 for 690K. All right, guys. We're about to hit an hour, 55 minutes going. I think that's basically much what I wanted to show from the shop this episode. Please do join me, or if you're interested in cryptocurrencies, we're going to be streaming Crypto Watch episode 3 tomorrow, and lots of interesting things actually in the crypto space now. Bitcoin price, which again I just use as a general indicator for all of the other prices, is way up. The last time I did Crypto Watch last month, it was around maybe 40,000 or 38,000 to a Bitcoin dollars. Now it's almost at 50. I think it's at 49K when I check. So a lot of interesting things. I'll also be talking about the news. There's a worrisome rider. It's almost like a rider in the U.S. Senate bill regarding their infrastructure bill. There's a rider, or there's a provision there regarding disclosure of crypto earnings and things like that, which would be a really big dampener to the industry. So we'll talk about that more on Crypto Watch. And lastly, I'm also going to talk about this bonkers trading scheme that I've been doing for the past month, where I've lost so much money and I'm super stressed actually every day. So we'll talk about that more on the Crypto Watch tomorrow. So thank you, Internet, for watching. Thank you, Internet gods, for finally giving me a clear stream. A stream in 1920 by 1080p instead of the 480 by 260 I think we were getting last time, or something like that. Crazy times. But thanks for watching, everybody. Stay safe, and enjoy the rest of the weekend. Peace.